From PEP Radio News, this is daily news for July 29th, 2026. These are the stories we are following at this hour. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi said 13 people have been found dead after a powerful earthquake shook part of southwestern Japan, and rescue work was continuing Wednesday morning for the missing. A magnitude 7.1 earthquake struck the Kumamoto area on the southern main island of Kyushu late Tuesday afternoon. There are people who are still waiting to be rescued, and it's a race against time, Takaichi said. We will go all out to find and rescue as many people as we can. Takaichi offered her condolences to the victims and sympathy to their relatives, while urging those affected by the quake to take care of themselves under the hot weather. Japan's self-defense forces joined rescue workers in the search and rescue operations at a badly damaged shopping mall and help deliver water and transfer the patients. The government is also preparing to deliver food and other necessities to the hard-hit areas, she said. In other news, the U.S. has thwarted, or is in the midst of thwarting, an Iranian missile attack and has launched numerous strikes with Saudi Arabia against militias in Iraq. The U.S. military said Tuesday that it knocked down an Iranian missile barrage and worked with Saudi Arabia's forces to strike sites in Iraq that Tehran-backed militias have used to launch attacks in recent days, shattering a brief pause in the fighting. All Iranian missiles launched against American forces in the Middle East were intercepted, U.S. Central Command said, adding that they remain vigilant and at a high state of readiness. In announcing the strikes in Iraq, the U.S. warned that further attacks on American troops or Saudi Arabia's energy infrastructure risked additional action. The United States and Iran had experienced a period of calm during which neither announced attacks for days following weeks of escalation over the strategic Strait of Hormuz, the Persian Gulf waterway, and narrow choke point through which 20% of the world's traded oil normally flows. Turning to news from the United States, the Senate took the first steps towards passage of a sweeping Russia's sanctions bill on Tuesday, with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy in the Capitol, moving forward on the legislation to penalize countries that continue to buy Russian oil, gas, and other exports after more than a year of negotiations. The bipartisan 86-12 procedural vote came hours after a funeral for Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, the bill's chief negotiator. Zelenskyy, who is in Washington to attend the service for Graham, met with senators beforehand and told them Ukraine is making gains in its war with Russia, but still needs more help from the United States. Zelenskyy then went to the Senate gallery to watch the vote, waving in support at the senators down below. At the meeting, Zelenskyy told senators that the sanctions legislation is important as a moral signal to a country that is weary and tired, though holding its own and then some against Russia. Republican Senator Todd Young of Indiana said as he left the meeting. And finally, in Pennsylvania news, Governor Josh Shapiro touted new funding for mental health programs in Pennsylvania's budget as a major achievement, including the $15 million boost among his administration's 18 budget wins. The state's budget allocated $10 million for the 988 crisis hotline, which serves as a lifeline geared towards suicide prevention and helping callers in need access critical treatment services. There were 1,845 deaths by suicide in 2024 in Pennsylvania, according to USA Facts. That is down from 1,955 in 2022. In 2025, the state's 14 crisis call centers handled more than 145,000 calls. Another $5 million goes to the state's emergency behavioral health walk-in centers, which offer immediate specialized care for anyone experiencing a mental health crisis. Like 988, the centers are designed to prevent people in crisis from going to emergency rooms or jail, according to officials with the state's Department of Human Services. That's the news for this hour. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the homepage at paequality.com, Roku, Alexa, and wherever you find streaming radio. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.